What's up, Taiwan? I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A Chinese man has been detained in northern Taiwan after crashing his boat into a passenger ferry while trying to enter the country illegally. The 60-year-old, surnamed Ran, appears to have crossed the Taiwan Strait by speedboat. The man claimed he was escaping China to seek freedom. He has been detained and will be repatriated to China. Prosecutors are accusing a former China Airlines employee of leaking sensitive information to the alleged head of a Chinese spy ring. They say the leaked information included former President Tsai Ing-wen's itinerary during overseas trips, lists of foreign dignitaries visiting Taiwan, and details related to U.S. arms sales to the country. China Airlines, Taiwan's flag carrier, says it has cooperated in the investigation. The allegations could be added to the case of alleged spy ring coordinator Liu Jishen, who was indicted last year over a Chinese scheme targeting Taiwanese military personnel. Some analysts see the case as a sign China is expanding its espionage against Taiwan.
中共的手法已经不是单纯只是针对目前现任的在政府机构里面的人员，而是透过很多这种外围的已经退役的、退休的。那另外，我们过往通过的反渗透法，还有修改国安无法这些东西，其实也要具体落实。
Japan is making its first appearance in the biennial U.S.-led Valiant Shield military exercises in the Western Pacific. Valiant Shield is one of the U.S.'s largest war games and trains all branches of the militaries involved on how to work together in this part of Asia. Japan says this year, armed forces will also carry out drills in waters that extend from Japan to the Philippines and to the east coast of Taiwan. The drills will last until June 18th. Concerns are growing over Taiwan's energy security and supply. The country relies mostly on imported fossil fuels for its power, but as it looks to attract more foreign tech investment, many people are asking how Taiwan can square its green energy goals with increasing energy demands. Reese Ayers reports.
Not in our backyard. That's the message from protesters in Taipei's neighbouring city of Taoyuan, angry about renewed plans to build 3 solid recovered fuel, or SRF, plants in the area. Plans that were initially halted by the city government, now given a second life.
当初会废止 SRF 厂商的专案入园许可，最主要是因为机部收回推荐函，所以呢，造成3家 SRF 厂的专案入园程序呢已经不完备，这样的一个溯源结果，令人感到遗憾。
SRF factories produce energy by processing waste that would otherwise be sent to a landfill. Opponents of the technology call it fake green energy and have concerns about the pollution it produces.
政府它有它的能源政策，不能影响我们大潭里民生活的品质。这个3家同时进驻我们的大潭里，那我们空污排放总量绝对会超标。最后，我们还是要团结我们的里民来向经济部做抗议。
But its proponents say it's a high-yield green energy source and an effective way to deal with waste.
To me, the important thing to remember that this is trash that would have to go somewhere. In Taiwan, if we're not burning it, it means it's going to go into a landfill.
Advocates of SRF plants also say newer factories are much cleaner and more efficient than older ones and can contribute to Taiwan's plans to reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. A goal seen by many as overly ambitious, particularly considering renewable sources currently account for just around 10% of the country's grid. Some propose better utilising Taiwan's existing nuclear plants, which they say could also help with Taiwan's energy security in the face of an increasingly aggressive China.
I think the whole world has had a major rethink of nuclear power in the wake of several existential threats. The biggest one of which is climate change. And we know that nuclear energy is zero carbon. And then, of course, there's energy security, which is very salient after the war in Ukraine.
But with the current administration firmly opposed to nuclear energy, it doesn't look like Taiwan's remaining plants will be up and running anytime soon. And the country could be about to face even more energy demands. In the wake of Taipei's Computex, one of the world's largest tech expos, more huge tech companies may be looking to set up shop in Taiwan. NVIDIA and Foxconn announced plans to build a computing center in the south, which, with a focus on advancing AI technology, will require a lot of power not previously budgeted for. And even some industry leaders have expressed concerns about Taiwan's ability to generate enough energy to power the foreign tech it's looking to bring to the country.
有一些能源的表现方式是间歇性的这个发电，有风就有电，没风就没电。无论是 AI 还是半导体晶片的制造，都必须是一个稳定的这个电力供应。
The current administration's opposition to nuclear power, plans for more tech facilities, and 2050 net zero goals seem to pose a bit of a paradox, particularly for a country currently so reliant on imports for its energy, and one so vulnerable to being switched off by China. Howard Chung and Rhys Ayres for TaiwanPlus.
Vice President Bi-Khim Hsiao is trying to help earthquake-hit Hualien recover. She hopes a visit to the area will encourage tourism, a key industry that's taken a big hit since the big earthquake in early April. John Van Trieste has this story.
Vice President Bi-Khim Hsiao is back in the place she used to call home. She represented Hualien on Taiwan's east coast for 8 years as a lawmaker. Now she's back to help Hualien get back on its feet. The magnitude 7.2 earthquake that rocked Taiwan in April had its epicenter very close to here, and the destruction has been economic as well as physical. Hualien is a scenic region known for its tourism and hospitality industry, but the more than 1,000 aftershocks that followed the big quake have kept visitors away. Hotels are still at just around 10% capacity, even though Taiwan's in the middle of a long holiday weekend. Hsiao hopes taking a mini vacation here will encourage other people to come, and she's not alone. Japan's envoy to Taiwan has organized a tour group made up of Japanese nationals who reside in the country, and Hsiao's made sure to thank the visitors.
本来是我个人预计要邀请一些驻台的使节，那同时也正在跟外交部在做规划，但是日本电山代表自己率先这个抛砖引玉。
It's not just earthquakes keeping people away from Hualien, though. There have been some calls to boycott the area for political reasons. That's because of anger at Hualien lawmaker Fu Kun-chi, the leader of the opposition Kuomintang caucus. KMT lawmakers and their allies recently passed controversial reforms expanding the legislature's powers, reforms that saw up to 100,000 protesters on the streets of Taipei. But the vice president says she's against a boycott.
我之前也带了40位党工一起来花莲关心，现在也需要很多的温暖。那我们就不要用政治的角度来看待。
With the summer travel season just around the corner, both Hsiao and local businesses are hoping a slump that's lasted over 2 months could be about to end. Justin Wu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
No more bluefin tuna this season, at least not for those catching the valuable fish in Taiwan. Authorities say caps introduced to prevent overfishing mean the season will officially close on June 12th. The year's quota of about 2,000 tons was nearly reached over the weekend. Tuna sales at the Donggang Fish Market in southern Taiwan reached a 15-year high this year, but some fishers say the season's ending came with little warning. Taiwan is fighting a tough battle with an evolving enemy, a type of honeybee parasite called the varroa mite. It's killed more bees than ever before and is growing in number. Irene Lin looks at what the country's bee farmers are up against.
This unusually frail honeybee with deformed wings is close to its demise. It's among the up to half of Taiwan's bee population that has been killed by waves of parasitic attacks in recent years.
这个就是从它幼虫里面卡出来的，有没有？这些都已经被它侵犯到了，有没有？它的头是看起来黑黑湿湿的。
These uninvited guests are called varroa mites. They latch onto adult honeybees to sneak into beehives and feed on the other adults and larvae inside. The mites also often carry pathogens on them, making bees ill not just from malnourishment, but also from viral diseases.
其实病毒它会造成它这只蜜蜂，等它羽化的时候，你就看到翅膀会变成畸形。那一旦蜜蜂翅膀畸形，那它就没有工作能力，它也没办法飞，只能在巢里面吃食物，没办法出去工作，其实寿命很短，其实出来没几天就死掉了。
Bee farmers say the mites keep coming back, and that they've run out of ways to ward them off.
负离子水也出来， 草酸糖也是很多啦，就是大家一直在找方法。这2年要不太下去，很严重，200多箱咬到剩下全灭的也都有啊。
Bee researcher Wu Mingchen says the mites may have developed a defense against oxalic acid over time, and there are other factors that are making it harder for them to revitalize the bee population.
气候变迁造成的食物，蜜蜂的食物可能有短缺，然后另外外在环境可能农作物会开始喷药，防治害虫，那这些农药也会危害到我们的蜂。
Right now, there is no one surefire solution to the infestation problem. And as scientists keep working on ways to keep Taiwan's bees alive, it's farmers on the front line that will have to weather this growing crisis. Lian and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Taipei is celebrating one of Taiwan's major annual holidays, the Dragon Boat Festival. Sandy Chi went to the riverside to catch the races.
Braving heavy rain and heat on the Keelung River. The Taipei International Dragon Boat Championships was held over the weekend. It's an annual event marking Duanwujie, the Dragon Boat Festival. It's one of the biggest holidays on Taiwan's calendar, celebrated on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month. Dragon boat races have been held in Taipei since as far back as 1895. The city's official event has been held at the Dajia Riverside Park for decades.
今天就是我们端午佳节的龙舟比赛啊，对，那我们已经参加第10年了。
Over 200 teams signed up for the championships this year, hoping to win the grand prize, a record $107,000 US. Many of them had trained for months, and some even had to compete in the rain. But the wet weather couldn't dampen their spirits.
看这个雨，你现在感想如何呢？等下就湿啊，我们很 sexy。等下你看，我们都已经弄好了，准备好了。
大家一起奋力，非常开心，终于可以晋级了。
Taipei's race is unique. It still uses wooden dragon boats, handmade by the master boat builder Liu Qingzheng. In other places, boats are often made with modern materials, like fiberglass or carbon fiber.
Each dragon-shaped vessel can hold up to 21 people, including 18 paddlers, a steersperson, a flag catcher, and the drummer. The drummer sets the pace of the paddlers, and the sound of the drum is said to be the heartbeat of the dragon.
Other than racing dragon boats, there are other, less physically demanding ways to celebrate the festival. Many people eat zongzi, glutinous rice dumplings stuffed with pork, mushrooms, and much more, all wrapped in bamboo leaves. They're sold all over at local markets at this time of year.
小时候我就做菜市场，就是有这个传统。
想说已经过节了，然后来买粽子过一下节这样而已。打算买干贝跟蛋黄的鲜肉粽这样。
Demand for the seasonal treats is always high.
好像不错。 目前已经都卖光
哦，非常的好。
那总共你大概知道每天包几个，卖出几个吗？
每天至少包个1-2千个吧。
There are different stories about why people eat zongzi during the Dragon Boat Festival. The most popular one is about a famous poet, Chu Yuan, who drowned himself in a river over 2,000 years ago in China. To prevent the fish from eating his body, his admirers threw sticky rice dumplings into the river for the fish to eat instead. Fast forward to today, and the Dragon Boat Festival is a vibrant holiday in Taiwan. Every beat of the drum, every stroke of the paddle, and every bite of zongzi brings joy to the community. Patrick Chen, Ryan Wu, Reese Ayres, and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these competitors making a splash at the Boston stop of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.